Alrighty, guys, so the markets were pretty boring today. It was one of those days far from entertaining today. We had the S&P 500 go down 0.3% as the Dow Jones went down 0.1%. We had the Russell down also 0.1% as the NASDAQ pretty much broke even. And the funny thing is, guys, the VIX, even though we didn't have a crazy day today, the VIX went up 7%, and we had the metals pretty much at break even. Gold up 0.1%, silver down 0.25%. And in a little bit here, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and see where they are at. And of course, in this video, we got a lot to break down. We're going to break down the market, stocks, earnings, all that good stuff. But before we do, make sure to get your 10 stocks from Moomoo and your 12 stocks from Webull. You heard that right, guys. They upped the ante. 12 stocks from Webull and again, 10 stocks from Moomoo. All of those are linked down below. And with that being said, cheers, guys. Let's dive into the video. We got a lot to break down on this beautiful Monday night. So take a look here. Again, markets were pretty boring across the board today, pretty much at break even, but we had a lot of individual stocks do well. AMC, Chewy, which we called out both of those recently. You guys that caught my videos yesterday, the day before, you saw that. Shopify, DraftKings, AMD, which we also called out. PayPal did well today. So let's break down some of these stocks. But before we do, let's look at SPY and QQQ. You guys can see SPY is still trading above roughly 408, 409, which was that high like we've talked about from the middle of May. And you guys can see QQQ is right around the highs still from about, when was that? About 2 months ago, from the beginning of June, end of May. Those highs were right around 315. And lo and behold, guys, you can see here we closed at 315 today after breaking out momentarily this morning. You guys can see this did break out, which I guess this is a good sign for the bulls that we actually got through $315. We got to about $319, and obviously we pulled back from there and closed right around $315. So tomorrow for QQQ, what's going to happen at $315? That's the $1 million question. Is it going to be the bulls taking it back to the highs from today, 318.19, breaking those highs, and then going towards 330? Or are the bears going to take over and maybe bring this thing back down to the 50 SMA, maybe even towards the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, which could be anywhere from 295 to probably even 305, right around that $5-10 window, or maybe even right to the highs from about a couple days ago. When was this? About 10 days ago. QQQ was right around 307.50, 308. That's where we could go on the downside. Again, if we fail at 315, which as of now, we're right by 315. So going back to SPY, we can see this is right around a key level. So SPY, what's it going to do at 408, 410? That's the $1 million question here on the S&P 500 ETF, which, again, is SPY. You guys should know that at this point, because if we fail at 410, 408, we got some work on the downside, most likely, towards the at least the 50 SMA, which is right around 398, 400. But if we hold, we might hold 410 for a couple of days. We might consolidate and then just go straight up to the next gap to the upside, which is going to be 420. So time will tell, guys. Time will tell. Let's wait and see what ends up happening. But again, overall, volatility was up today. It was one of those days where not much action went down, but it was a pretty volatile day. You guys can see here on the intraday chart, SPY was going from 410 to 413, back to 409, 412 throughout the day. This thing was it was going up and down all throughout the day. Same with QQQ. When it started off the day, it was 312, ran to about 318. That was a 2% move, then dumped all the way back down to about 314. That was a 1.6% move to the downside. So needless to say, it was a volatile day, but overall, we broke even. We broke even pretty much. A little bit leaning more towards the downside, but, it was one of those days. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. And with that being said, let's dive over here to Webull and see what's going on with crypto. So right now, Bitcoin is right around $23,400 a coin, which I believe last I checked, or last time we talked about it at least, which it's been a couple of days, I think it was right around this point, 23,500, 24,000. You guys can see here on the short term, 24,000 is a big level of resistance in the short term. on Bitcoin since really the end of July. About at this point, about 10, 12 days. Excuse me, guys. We've been struggling at 24.5. So, and even now up until today when I'm filming. So in the short term, we got to watch the mid 24s on Bitcoin on the upside. 100%. That is what we got to watch in the short term. If we do get buying pressure, maybe at some point this week, I mean, the week's still early. It's Monday. I mean, obviously Bitcoin is trading all the time, but there's more volume throughout the week, during the week when the stock market's open as well. So if we get a break past mid 24s, if we start moving towards, let's say, 25, this thing could really break and start going to the levels we've mentioned recently, 27.5, 28 on the upside. That's where this could be going. Let's pull up Ethereum. I haven't looked at these charts, guys, in a couple of days, so this stuff is news to me here as well. So Ethereum is right around 1650, still holding in the 1600 range. And let's see here. Wow, this thing ran up to almost 1800 just 3-4 days ago on the 28th of July. That's insane. And we're still clearly being dominated here on by the bulls here on the 2-hour chart. We hit again almost 1785, 1800. We've been consolidating right around there. And actually, I mean, we did consolidate. Now we're pulling back a little bit. Looks like bulls are stepping in at a higher low here. So let's see if we get another run up. By the looks of it, the way the charts look right now, this is poised for another run up by the looks of it right now. Again, things can change. But now that we're pulling back a little bit, we got a bit overbought. Now we're seeing, some profit taking, shaking the weak hands out, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if we get that next move, maybe back towards 17, maybe even higher than that here on Ethereum. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And, of course, if you're finding value in the video, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. It helps me out in the overall algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And if you want 12 free stocks from Webull, like I said, they upped the ante. Use that link down below. Look at the details. You can get up to 12 stocks. It's pretty crazy. So with that being said, let's dive back over to ThinkOrSwim and see what's going on here with these stocks, because I know the big earnings are out of the way. Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, all the big ones from last week. It was a big week last week. We still have some ones for this week that we got to look at. Today we had Pinterest. We had some energy companies, Activision, Blizzard, Simon Property Group. Let's talk about some of these. So the first one I want to break down is Pinterest, ticker symbol PINS, which is absolutely rocketing after the bell right now, guys. Look at this. They closed at $19.99, just 1 penny shy of $20 a share, and they're up to $24 after the bell. We're talking a 23% pop after the bell here on earnings that I'm a bit confused about, to be honest. And I haven't done a deep dive into Pinterest, guys, after the earnings here quite yet. So maybe there's something I'm missing. I'm just looking at the brief numbers that they give out. But what I'm seeing here is adjusted EPS of 11 cents versus 18 cents. So they missed on EPS. And I think unadjusted, it was minus 7 cents or something like that. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe that was... Oh, no, I'm not. Look at that. Loss of 7 cents a share, unadjusted, all right? So they missed on that. Revenue also missed. $666 million versus 673 rather, 0.66 million. So that missed. Monthly active users came in at 433 million, which is down 5% year over year. And they see Q3 2022 revenue, which might be, I guess, a reason why the stock's moving up. I guess. They see Q3 rather 2022 revenue growing in the mid to single digits year over year on a year over year basis. So I'm not too sure what is causing this stock to rip 25%, but that's what's happening. Maybe it just got way too beaten down. I mean, another reason why is it probably just got way too beaten down. I mean, this stock was over $80 a share. You guys remember that? Yeah, we were covering it. I mean, we've covered the rise and now the drop of Pinterest throughout my channel here. You guys remember what was going down. I mean, it went from $10 to $90. I was trading it all throughout here. Remember the PayPal hype? That's another stock I got pretty lucky on. There's two stocks that I got lucky on. And if you're a true OG viewer, you probably know this. But Activision Blizzard is one of them, which I've mentioned, and they reported, and we'll talk about them in a second, but that's one that I bought in the 50s, and then a couple days later, a week later, I forget exactly, they get bought out by Microsoft. I got very lucky with that. And Pinterest was another one, which you guys remember when there was a rumor or there was word on the street or whatever that PayPal was going to buy Pinterest. This was months ago, maybe close to a year ago. I forget. I forget exactly when it was, but I was in Pinterest before that. That news came out. The stock went bananas, and I dumped it. So I lucked out on these two, but just know, guys, that doesn't always happen. Obviously, you can't predict that stuff. But when I think of Pinterest, I always think of that trade I made, which I forget exactly when that was, like I said. But it's fun looking at that. So this thing was $10 to $90. Now it's back to 19. Well, I guess now it's 25 after the bell. So it got way too beaten down. And I'm assuming the earnings weren't as bad as expected, so we're just seeing a pop, maybe even a short squeeze. I'm not sure what the short interest is on Pinterest, but I don't know. Maybe that's what we're seeing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, and let me know if you own Pinterest. I don't own Pinterest. I traded it a couple of times, never bought it as a long-term investment, but if you did, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, the next two we want to break down, or I want to break down, is Devon Energy, ticker symbol, and the other one's Diamondback. DVN is Devon Energy here, which went down 2% on the day. And let's pop up crude oil quickly to begin this part of the video, talking about these energy stocks. Holy crap, guys. Wow, look at that. I missed that. I completely missed that today. What's going on? I guess that stemmed from the end of the 31st. Look at that, guys. Holy crap. Crude oil went down from 101. Now it's at 93. Jeez, this thing is down 70% in the past literally day or two. So here we go, guys. Crude oil is testing the mid-low 90s again, which I've mentioned. This has been support for months, pretty much all of this year of 2022. So you guys got to watch that. Heading into the rest of this week, we got to watch, in general, crude oil. And again, going back to Devon Energy, the energy stocks, DVN went down 2% on the day, but it's still overall breaking out of these moving averages, which is good. And we're noticing an inverse head and shoulders. Look at that. We have the left shoulder right here. We got the head right there. Boom. You guys see that? And then we have the right shoulder right there. I butchered that, but you guys get the gist of it, right? So they ended up doing 259 EPS versus 237 estimated on a revenue of 5.63 billion. So they missed. Actually, I'm not sure if they missed on revenue, but they beat EPS and they raised their dividend by 13%, which is always good. And you guys know a lot of these energy companies, they pay a juicy fat dividend, and not all of them, but you know, the solid ones, they pay a nice dividend. I'm not sure what Devon Energy's is, though, so let me pull it up quickly. Give me a second here. Right now, holy crap, they pay an 8% dividend. Are you freaking serious? I might have to look into that. They pay an 8% dividend, which is $5 a year, and I'm not sure if that's included, or rather the 13% is included in that, but if it's not, we're going to $550 a year roughly, maybe higher than that, $560 a year in dividends for a $61 stock. That's crazy. And obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously because I haven't looked into their numbers, but I'm assuming this dividend increase, the big increase, is recent because obviously energy stocks have been crushing it. They're making more profits, revenue. I doubt they were paying this fat dividend 3 years ago. There's no chance. Yeah, I mean, jeez, look at that, guys. What did I say? 11-cent dividend is what they paid in December of 2020. 11 cents. Now they're paying $1.55 a quarter. 11 cents a quarter to $1.55. Yeah, that's what's going on, which means when we get the end of this bull market for energy, crude oil, which is going to come at some point. I don't think it's going to come here in the near-term future, but at some point it's going to come. These earnings compress, bye-bye dividend. That's what the risk is here with not all these energy companies, but maybe this one in particular. and some other ones. Maybe I'll make a video about that. That might be a good solo video to talk about in just one video, maybe 10, 12 minutes. Let me know in the comments if you guys want that. Diamondback Energy also reported they did well. $7.07 versus $6.62 estimated on revenue of $2.77 billion versus $2.45 billion estimated. So double beat for FANG, which is the ticker, guys. Funny enough, when you think FANG, you think of that old school. I guess it's an old school saying now because F is not, well, Facebook is now Meta. So, I mean, I guess Netflix, you kick Netflix out, you add Microsoft. I don't know. Anyway, FANG is their ticker, F-A-N-G, F-A-N-G, right? And this is in the same position as Devon Energy pretty much. We have an inverse head and shoulder as well. I guess the only difference here is FANG has not broken out of this moving average yet. But if this breaks, let's say 130, mid 130s, there's going to be a right shoulder completing, in my opinion, in this inverse right or head and shoulders that we're seeing. You guys can see that. So we got to watch FANG, and I guarantee you these dividends were way lower a couple years ago. Let's see here. Their dividend they paid out was 18 cents in November of 2019. Their dividend now is $3 a share. I mean, you guys got to realize these energy companies, they're cyclical, so keep that in mind. We'll leave it at that. So the next one, which I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, which is one of the lucky trades. I don't want to even say lucky because I was looking at Activision, and you guys remember I was making videos about it when I was buying it. I thought the company was intrinsically undervalued in the 50s, and a lot of people were saying that. And funny enough, and I'm not claiming I'm some kind of genius because of this, but I was buying Activision, then I sold it, then I found out Warren Buffett and Berkshire was buying it. I don't know if they still own it. They probably still do, or maybe they got rid of it after the pump from Microsoft. But I found out that they were buying around the same time period, which is always nice to see. Although I'm not, and I say this all the time on the channel, don't just listen to analysts, YouTubers. Don't just worship people like Warren Buffett. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. Come up with your own strategy. Have your own confidence. I always say that, but it's nice to see. I'm going to leave it at that and say it's nice to see when a legend like Warren Buffett is buying a stock that you were just buying and that you were had a conviction in. And then you guys know I dumped Activision after that massive run up, like I mentioned a few minutes ago. So they did adjusted EPS of 48 cents, which came in line with the estimate on revenue of $1.644 billion. And I'm not sure what the estimate was there on revenue, but they beat on actually they came in line on adjusted EPS. And at the end of the day, guys, this is a stock that it's been consolidating for months. And I've said this before. It's been trading in a little $5, $6 window, $75 to $81. My alert's at 81. And based on the report, we went up a little bit, but we went up on the day a little bit, but after the bell, we're down about 20, 30 cents. So we're still under $81, and we probably will be until we get the decision of whether this deal is 100% going through. If it gets denied, or maybe they don't go through with it or whatever, it all depends. So at this point, I expect further just straight up consolidation on Activision until we get more detail on the overall deal. And I have to look more into that. Honestly, I haven't done much research into it these past couple of weeks or months. I have to refresh my mind and see and kind of dive a little bit deeper into what's going on there. But we got to see. We got to see how Activision does. We also had SPG report today, Simon Property Group. They're finally reversing, from the multi-month downtrend that they were in. You guys can see Simon Property Group was $170 back in November, and it just hit 93. That is an abysmal return of 44% in the red. But from 93, now it's at $111. It is up probably, we're talking 15. Nope, more than that. 20%, guys, 20%. And again, it is breaking out of these moving averages for the first time in months, and we're about to get a golden cross. And they just reported earnings of free, what's FFO again? Oh, my God. Funds from operations. Yeah, it's been a long day, guys. It's 8 o'clock. I'm forgetting these terms. Funds from operations of $2.91 per share, revenue of $1.28 billion. And again, it's reversing. And for me, I'm not, and by the way, SPG is a REIT, guys. If you didn't know that, it's a real estate investment trust. So for me, I already own 3 of those, and I've done very, very well with those. I've mentioned that before in the videos. I'm not going to dive too deep into that in this video, but I already own 3 REITs, so I'm not looking to add another one quite yet. But from a trading perspective, I'd be considering SPG. The other ones that I own, which I've crushed it on, and I've covered these again on the channel, Realty Income has been ripping. I was buying this mid-high 60s. Now it's in the mid-70s, and mind you, they pay a nice dividend every month. I've been reinvesting that dividend. Vici Properties is my biggest winner when it comes to real estate investment trusts from this year in general. You know, I was buying this high 20s. I don't know if I bought any in the mid-20s. I don't want to say that because that might be BS. Yeah, I think that's BS. I was buying in definitely 27, probably 26, 27 range. I guess that's mid-20s, mid-high 20s, whatever. And now we're in the mid-30s. You know, it's at $34, and they pay a nice dividend, 5%, or at least 5% when I was buying. Now it's probably more like 4.8. I don't know. I have to double check. But overall, I'm up at least 15% on the shares, never mind the dividends on Vici Properties. And another one that I own is Stag, which I think I'm down on Stag. Yeah, I'm down on Stag. I was buying this mid-30s, maybe even high 30s. Now we're in the lower 30s, 32, 36, or 32.60. But they pay a dividend, and I've been reinvesting, and I do plan on buying more Stag here in the short term. So overall, that's a little rundown on the REITs, a little update. You guys know maybe you don't know, I started a REIT portfolio in the beginning of 2022. What year are we in? Again, it's been a long day. And that portfolio is outperforming, I think, all my portfolios this year. It's freaking crushing it. I mean, I think it's up like, I don't know. I got to double check, but it's up on the year. It's beating the S&P 500 too. Pretty crazy. So let's go over some other ones. AMD. AMD is up 2.5%, or went up 2.5%. And we called this one out recently. We have an inverse head and shoulders. That looks like it's playing out. And I think AMD is reporting tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow after the bell. So this is one to watch for sure tomorrow throughout the day. And AMC, guys. We got to end off the video with AMC. And by the way, if you guys are still here, smash that like button. I appreciate you all as always. You guys are awesome, especially, again, if you stuck till the end. Let me know again, as always, in the comments if you stuck till the end. Look at AMC, guys. 5.5% green day today. Buyers right at the bottom of this channel, like we called out. We got buyers above the 180 SMA. Now we close right under the 50, right around $15.50. So if we crack above that 50 SMA at some point tomorrow, maybe later this week, there could be a big move coming on AMC. And you guys know how this stuff goes. AMC, GameStop, the other Wall Street bet stocks, whatever you want to call them, they're very risky. They can move in either direction very crazily. Let's put it that way. This move could be made in a day. And I think if we break 1550, we could be shooting for 1718 in the short term. And mind you, AMC, like AMD, they're reporting earnings on the 4th, later this week, on Thursday after the bell. So with that being said, guys, we're about 23 minutes in. Let's wrap up this video. If you enjoyed it, again, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure to get your free stocks. You get 10 stocks from Moomoo with a $100 deposit. Each of those could be valued up to $2,500, free money, and you could get 12 stocks from Webull. All those are linked down below. Feel free to also check out my Patreon if you want all my real-time moves in the markets, morning videos, more access to me throughout the day. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll see you later. Peace out.